Welcome to the Unmistakably Magic Podcast. I'm RJ.
And I'm Court.
We are two lifelong fans of Disney parks and all theme parks.
Each week, we bring you the latest news from Disney parks and beyond.
Plus, this week we'll be doing a double dose of news, and I'm going to give you a trip report from the Legoland Discovery Center in Kansas City.
Yeah, so you were out of town
That's
last
right.
week.
So last week we had kind of a
It was a shorter episode.
fun little episode where we gave you a quiz.
And I took the quiz and
Aced it.
aced the first one. Second one, not so much.
It's a little outdated.
They were a little obscure questions. Yeah. I think I got cheated a bit on that one.
They're a little outdated even too, so who knows?
But this time, you went someplace pretty cool that we've never been before.
That's
We've never been to a Discovery Center. So, I mean, I'm excited to hear about a recap of it.
I'm excited to tell you.
Well, let's kick it off with some news first, though.
It's episode 48.
Well, we're headed over to Universal Studios Hollywood to start the news this week.
It's a rare start.
There's a lot of news from Universal, though, at least in the beginning. But Shrek 4D over at Universal Studios Hollywood will be closing to be transformed into the DreamWorks Theater, which will host many attractions, starting with Kung Fu Panda. The new ride will take guests on a journey through state-of-the-art projection mapping and LED lighting effects. The DreamWorks Theater will open in 2018.
Nice.
So this is only in Hollywood. I assume if it's successful, definitely going to see it over in Orlando.
I wonder if it would replace like maybe Terminator or something, you know? Like you already have a 4D theater there.
Well, Shrek 4D is already a 4D theater.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Or just a new show.
It's just the best part of Shrek 4D is its queue. And half of it's outside. So you're not really missing much. Plus, the movie that they show in Shrek 4D, it was like added on to some bonus feature on, I think it was like Shrek 2.
Oh, so really it's not even unique to
Or
the
Shrek.
park.
It might have been Shrek 1.
That's too bad.
Yeah, so, well,
I just really want them to replace Terminator, that's all.
they replaced it over in Hollywood.
I know, I just want them to replace, like, of all the attractions, it's like, come on. Like, this is not good.
But they are getting rid of, like, the not good ones.
But my fear is then when they get rid of the good ones to
Put something
in,
kind of
the
mediocre
Mummy or
in.
whatever, you know, like, come on.
Oh, do not get rid of
I'm
that
just
Mummy
saying,
coaster.
I'm just saying.
Don't reskin it to the new Mummy because
Just saying. Ooh, I've heard that's been bombing anyways.
yeah, it has been. So, well, sticking with Universal Hollywood, Christmas in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is coming to that park. This rendition will be very similar to the Christmas event in Orlando, which we announced or said was coming a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
With a projection show on Hogwarts, Hogmeade all lit up, and special holiday food. So it's basically the same thing.
It'd be kind of fun to see, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they're bringing very similar, if not copies of something to each park. Because I'd be a little mad if I lived in California and saw that Orlando was getting all this
all the special
cool stuff
yeah,
and
that's true.
We weren't. Well, jumping over to Universal Orlando, they have given us a time frame for the opening of Fast and Furious Supercharged attraction. The attraction is set to open in spring of 2018 and will feature a virtual line, pretty similar to Fallon.
Okay.
So they're really
They're working towards that Q thing.
everywhere.
Tapu Tapu.
The not so successful Tapu
Yeah.
Tapu.
Not so good, Tapu Tapu, yeah.
I think we need to do another recap episode of
It sounds like it, yeah. As
of
more
Volcano Bay, Pandora, and Guardians, because
revisit that issue.
yeah,
Yeah.
we should do that sometime in the future. Well, the UK is adding a second Legoland Discovery Center in 2018. The new location will be located inside the Birmingham Barclaycard Arena.
Barclaycard?
There's a C in there.
Barclaycard.
The Birmingham Barclaycard Arena, and will include play areas, master classes from master builders, interactive rides, and a 4D theater, as well as a mini-land that features buildings from the surrounding area.
It sounds familiar.
Will we hear a little
Yes, you will.
something similar to
Something
that?
a little similar to all that.
Well, we'll hold off on
All right.
discussing that a little
Okay.
bit then. Well, jumping over to Universal in Japan, though,
I saw
we're
this
hitting all
week.
three of them.
I know.
This
Universal's been hitting it up, dog.
I am.
Where you at, Disney?
Stoked. Hey, Disney's got something big coming
okay,
up too.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Ever heard of the 23? The number 23.
Yeah.
Those big announcements come from there.
Oh.
And Universal
With a
is
D
just
in
kind of
front
hitting
of it?
everything. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's the next topic after
Oh,
this one.
all right.
But Super Nintendo World over at Universal Japan has broken ground. And alongside the ceremony, which featured Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Mario, and super well-known guy in the video game industry.
Yeah.
Super influential, too. Basically saved the industry. Different topic, different podcast, different time. But in addition to him making an appearance, and in addition to just the general ceremony and general excitedness that comes along with that, they announced that a Mario Kart attraction
What?
is coming to the land.
What?
So those patents we saw earlier
About
a couple months ago about that stuff,
About Mario Kart kind of things?
it's happening, guys, and I might need to go to Japan for this.
For sure.
The land is set to open before the 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
Okay.
So
That's pretty quick, but I mean,
that's Universal timescale.
Yeah.
That is 3 years from now.
it's not super fast, but it's definitely faster than
It's
some. Yeah.
faster than Pandora.
Disney. Okay.
Hey, Star Wars is moving along at a quite the accelerated pace, as well as
They
Toy
learned
Story
some
Land.
things, yeah.
Well, there were a few hiccups in Pandora.
James Cameron.
We could actually go back and hash that whole story out,
We should sometime.
because the whole reason why they built it, why it's here, and what took them so long. But this is awesome. I am beyond stoked for this.
That
There's-
sounds really cool, yeah.
They there's also a video that they showed or that they released of like basically Mario jumping through the
I
land,
saw that, yeah.
and it looks incredible. There's a lot of like 2-story buildings, there's like 2-story attractions.
Wow.
Everything looks like fresh out of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, it would be cool to visit. For
I am
sure.
stoked to see this come to life.
Also, hopefully, see it come to the U.S. at some point.
It is coming to the
Yeah.
U.S. They are doing Super Nintendo lands. Well, maybe not in the same exact format in the U.S. at
Didn't we
both
talk
parks.
about that?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, we have. I think we did a whole episode on it.
I think we
too.
did. Yeah.
We've
What we
had-
wish we could see, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Disney is they're jumping back a little bit. They're spitballing back at Universal.
All right.
Star Wars Land is getting its own pavilion at this year's D23 event in Anaheim. The Galaxy of Stories will contain a detailed model of the land, as well as starships, droids, and creatures that will populate the remote Outer Rim village. Star Wars Land is set to open in 2019.
Wow. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm
So
excited. Well, we'll have to wait. When's D23 coming up?
it's in
soon, right?
July.
Yeah.
July 17th,
Which is
I think.
it's only a month away
19th.
then.
So yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's a month from now when we will get pretty much all the details.
Wow.
Because generally at these D23 events, when they reveal a model, like they did with New Fantasyland a while back and Pandora, we get a lot more details, way more information on entrances into the area. A way better feel of the size of the area and the scope of it and the level of detail that everything's going. So, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Well, Big Thunder Trail has reopened over at Disneyland. Finally. The trail has some stunning new rockwork as well as some new views of Star Wars Land and the Disneyland Railroad. Plus, it has 2 entrances into Star Wars Land.
Ooh.
A little more than we thought we were going to get.
Yeah, for
So-
sure.
And they have a bunch more details throughout the trail. And
Yeah, it looked. I mean, they definitely didn't just like tear it out and just
no, just gut it. And
gut
kinda
it. They
just,
yeah,
here
they
you go.
actually took their time on this. Yeah.
You know the rock work? Did you watch a video of it or a
watched
walkthrough or some
Inside the
pictures and
Magic,
stuff? Yeah. The rock work along the edge of it when you're walking through, for some reason that just reminded me of. Did you ever see Planet Coaster?
Yeah.
that video game
Yeah, where you could.
theme park simulation. I got some vibes from that game of like they totally had to be like use that or something,
Okay.
and it looked very similar to something
I'd have
that
to look it up again, but yeah.
very similar to something that I have created in there, and
Nice.
others have created as well. Well, Star Trek Operation Enterprise, the new roller coaster over in Movie Park, Germany, has opened. The multiple launch roller coaster features a heavily detailed queue, which starts at the Federation Plaza and features many Star Trek replicas, including the bridge of the USS Enterprise NCC 1701D, and a holodeck, as well as 2 transporter rooms. We should.
Not that, like, I mean, yeah, let's go, but, you know.
I would
I
love
think Movie
that.
Park sounds kind of cool.
Movie Park sounds sweet. I want to go there and Europa Park. However,
And then
this
just hit up Dubai on the way home.
yeah, why not? However, on this upcoming trip, that's in actually 10 days from today. I
Wow.
leave. I am only going to Disneyland Paris.
That's
And I
all right.
say only, but
Still,
I'm
yeah.
still stoked.
Still
It's gonna be
going to Disneyland
amazing.
Paris, yeah.
Well, the Indiana Jones Adventure Outpost over at Disneyland has closed and will be gutted to make way for a new indoor seating area. The new area will hopefully alleviate the traffic congestion in that area of the park. However, if you're a merch fan, fear not, as the merchandise will be sold at the Adventureland Bazaar.
I was a little sad at first because I thought that too. Because not that I've ever bought one, but I've always thought it'd be fun to have a Mickey Mouse Indiana Jones
Yeah, right?
and a whip. Like I
And a
never would buy a
and,
whip.
like a
but,
hat,
like
and
just the fact that I know I could buy a whip if I wanted to someday. Like I know where I could go.
just the opportunity.
Just the
of, like,
opportunity to do that.
The potential is
The
there.
potential. Just know where that whips are available if needed.
in Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad to see it go though, because
That
this
area
means that
is so congested
it,
though.
it is
so bad.
wickedly congested, and Bengal Barbecue is right there, and that doesn't help
Doesn't
with the
help
congestion
anything.
at all. So this new seating area is needed. However, I hope they don't get rid of that Indiana Jones pinball machine.
I can't imagine. I'd imagine them move it over.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I would love to keep that around. Because, come on. It's pinball.
As long as we
Indiana
still get
Jones.
whips, I don't care.
What about fedoras?
You can get those anywhere.
My older brother bought a fedora from there one time.
I haven't been surprised by that.
I think it was over in Disney World's
I feel like we
Outpost.
filmed a video or something with that, with him wearing that at one time or something.
I think he
I
did.
found a leather jacket and a whip. See, it's important to know where
Played
you can
around
get a
with
whip.
it.
I'm
That's
just
true.
saying. Just saying, you got to know where you can get a whip.
Well, a 5-story amusement park is set to be added to the Singapore airport. The park will include a topiary walk, a hedge maze, simulated clouds, and a lifted bouncing net.
Ooh.
The park is set to open in 2019.
Show up early for your flight, I guess.
If you ever go to Singapore. Although that airport already has a ton of like unconventional entertainment in there.
I was wondering. I was like,
They
it
have-
seems odd for an airport, but
They have like 2 movie theaters, tons of shopping.
I wonder, is it
Basically
one
just
where you
like
have a lot of
mall.
layovers or something, maybe?
I don't know. I would.
Maybe?
It wouldn't surprise me if there were a lot
Like, I
of
wonder if they're a
layovers over
hub
there.
for somebody. You know, like,
Yeah,
like,
something.
how, like
Singapore
Chicago
Air.
is a hub for United or whatever, you know.
You mean like Singapore Air?
Yeah, Singapore Air. I mean, is Singapore Air huge? I don't know.
They do a lot of
guess, yeah.
international flights. But I mean, that airport is already renowned for having a bunch of unconventional entertainment options. Well, Disney has acquired full ownership of Disneyland Paris. Disney now holds a little over 97% of the shares, which means they can legally say that they have full ownership of the park, and they can force a mandatory buyback of all the remaining shares as of June 19th. This makes Disneyland Paris the 3rd Disney park to be wholly owned by the Walt Disney Company.
It's interesting to me. It's so weird to me that they aren't. You know, you just assume that they are. But when you, like, kind of dive into it, you're like, oh, they're not. And a lot of times they're owned by, like,
Majority owned. Well,
yeah.
when Disneyland Paris was first built, it was majority owned by Euro Disney,
Which was
which it used to be called Euro Disney, and it was its own like stock or its own share, its own company, basically, and I think Tokyo Disney is owned like well over majority, like 80% or something like that. It's wicked.
Yeah, that's what I mean too. Is
but like the Oriental Land Company,
something like
like
and
that.
same with
Shanghai
and Hong Kong are owned by something else or.
Yeah.
I don't
know. I mean, building a theme park of that magnitude, it's a lot of money. You got to raise a lot of capital for it.
It's weird, you think like it's Disney. I mean,
it's Disney. They have to own all of it. No. Nope, they don't. Except now they do at Disneyland Paris, Disneyland, and Disney World. Walt Disney World.
Weird if they didn't own the ones domestically. I can understand maybe internationally there's probably some other issues at hand, even possibly, like especially in China or,
But if like the city of Anaheim owned
half of Disneyland, or more than half, it'd be weird.
That'd be an odd thing. Well, Disney World has announced that a lighthouse will be placed at an undisclosed location for now on property to honor the child that was killed by an alligator nearly 1 year ago. The lighthouse is the symbol of the Lane Thomas Foundation, which his family started to help other families cover non-medical expenses for their children in need of life-saving organ transplants. The lighthouse will be constructed this summer.
They also announced they're going to make a pretty substantial donation to
a massive donation to it. And if you want to donate, head over to Facebook.com and look up, just search in Lane Thomas Foundation, LANE Thomas Foundation, and feel free to donate. Peruse their Facebook page. They have all the information over there. And
it's a good cause. I mean,
it's a great cause.
And they use the lighthouse, I guess, as their logo.
Yeah, their lighthouse is their symbol, their logo of the foundation. So it's pretty cool that Disney's doing this.
It's a big move on their part, not to just kind of play it off
as
a nature, it was nature.
Yeah. But I mean, this was like the first not the first public death
but
Disney,
it was a little harder. It was a kid, and it was and so much of it seemed preventable. Like that was a lot of the news stories you saw when it happened. Was
this shouldn't have happened?
This shouldn't have happened. Why are they letting people splash in the water? Or why are they even letting alligators on the property? Like it was just the whole thing.
But it's really cool that they're doing this. Yeah. Well, on June 3rd, SeaWorld Orlando welcomed a baby walrus. The walrus is the first to be born at the park, and the calf and the mother are doing excellent. However, neither are on display yet, as they need to have time to recover and bond and
not be on
interact
display
with each other.
Baby.
And, do natural things. But this is the first walrus to be born at SeaWorld Orlando.
That's kind of
cool. I'm kind of surprised, though, too, because they're a fairly old park.
I know. You think at some point in the past, but maybe not.
Yeah. All right, this one I'm a little interested. I have a question for you on this news topic.
Okay.
So Disney World is now offering a Frozen Ever After dessert party, which lets you enjoy Frozen-themed desserts, VIP seats for illuminations, and after illuminations, special access to the Frozen Ever After attraction. Tickets are $79 per adult and $47 per child, ages 3 through 9, and Epcot admission is required.
Yeah.
So,
what's your question? No, I'm not going to do it.
No, not that. Would you like to see this come to other attractions? Ooh. / do you think other attractions warrant it?
I could see some other ones that warrant it.
Which ones? Because right now I'm thinking now that they added that third or fourth theater to Soarin'.
I was gonna say Soarin', but then I thought of the same thing.
But now they have that.
They added the fourth,
and then the third track to Midway Mania.
Yeah, they've kind of cut down.
That handles that.
But I would think maybe in the future, Star Wars.
I was thinking Star Wars Land as a whole.
Pandora as a whole.
Although Pandora right now wait times aren't super substantial. It's leveled down a ton. It's just like typical busy wait times. I would just think it'd be really cool to do Tower of Terror.
I was gonna say like the way they did at
California Adventure,
saying goodbye to it. After a certain point, it went dark or whatever. Like do something fun or different with that.
But just do like a dessert party,
and then
hangout
give you special
area thing of stuff, and then
special tickets to
their galactic
Yeah, Galactic
nights.
or Phantasmic.
Oh yeah. I think it'd be really cool to do it
This
at
is expensive. That is expensive, though, the more I think about it.
$80
For a single attraction. Because it's one thing if it's like the entire park is yours after a certain hour. Like if
But
you had
it's-
special access after the illuminations of the whole World Showcase or something. Or
all 3 rides.
well, yeah, that's yeah.
You know,
And to me, too, Frozen is such a kid ride that it's hard to think about.
it's a fantasy
Illuminations
land ride.
is at like 9 o'clock at night. So
Yeah.
you're talking having stuff after that.
Although
like, that's hard.
the dessert list is pretty
I
extensive.
bet.
And there's alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages being served during the show as well.
Okay.
In your VIP seats.
And if you have VIP viewing of Illuminations is one that it's awesome because you can view it from a gajillion different angles.
Pretty much everywhere on the lagoon.
But there are also very good spots to view it and very bad spots to view it, and it would be nice to know you don't have to fight for a good spot.
And I'm sure they'll put you, because it goes Mexico, Norway, China,
Yeah.
right? Those 3 right there. So I'm sure you're going to be, well, Norway and China are like right next to each other.
Yeah.
Regardless
They're
of
like almost
where they're
touching.
at. Yeah. So I have found that China is like a better spot to watch Illuminations
Yeah,
from.
if you can't get in that main, as you first walk into World Showcase,
Yeah,
you
if
just
you
keep
can't get
walking
there.
straight. If you
Yeah.
can't get there, then yes. One of the-
China is really cool. Japan's pretty sweet.
Because one of our first trips, we ate in China at the whatever the sit-down restaurant is, and we
Like
literally walked
Dragon
out.
9 Dragon Restaurant. or
Yeah,
whatever it is.
walked out, and it was a fairly low season, so we could literally walk out and get a rail section right there at China.
So cool over in China. So
There's
I
also some,
assume
like,
they're
yeah.
going to put you around there-ish. Some prime
Yeah, I was
spots
trying to
over
figure
there.
if there's another area that's fence-offable, because that's the other thing you
That's
have
true.
to consider is that how are they going to keep other people from that zone
jumping in
or
there.
whatever.
I don't know. Maybe they'll just fence off all of Norway and you can sit in
Or
Norway.
maybe there's roof access somewhere to Norway we don't know about, on top of the church or something. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I can't imagine either. But yeah,
Who knows?
who knows?
Who knows? But I do think it would be pretty cool to see this come to some other attractions. Or
I
potentially
think given success with
lands.
this, because Frozen still has ridiculous lines.
Oh yeah, it's still immensely popular.
Yeah.
I mean, they just announced a new short before Coco.
Yeah.
And a ton of people are stoked for that.
Yeah.
And Frozen 2
No, I
is
think
coming sometime soon.
So I
and-
can see the draw to this.
Yeah.
Milk it for all it's worth at this point. So
For real. Well, the world's first fully accessible water park opened up today, June 17th, 2017. Morgan's Inspiration Island opened up as an expansion to Morgan's Wonderland in San Antonio, Texas. The park features a riverboat adventure, 5 different water play areas, RFID wristbands, and all of it is wheelchair accessible.
wow,
So that's impressive.
that is impressive.
That's really cool.
There's actually, I wish I knew the name of the channel. There's a guy on YouTube that's wheelchair bound. And he
I've seen him, and he just goes around.
goes around
does
and,
stuff.
and tells you like, here's the process. Like, I think the first time I watched it, I happened to see it was like his Small World, like
yeah.
how he has to wait for the you've seen the boat. It has like
it's
a
there.
wheelchair ramp in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting
I
to.
forget the dude's name though.
Yeah. It's a really good channel though.
Oh,
I
it's
like his
great.
stuff,
He's
yeah.
got a lot of really cool stuff there, and
I'd probably if you just YouTube search
Small World
wheelchair,
wheelchair.
wheelchair theme park. I don't know.
something like that.
Yeah.
But this is really cool.
It is.
Morgan's Wonderland, the park itself, is completely accessible as well. The RFID wristbands that are given out, they have like little tracking in them, so parents can know where their child's at.
That's cool.
If they have special needs, it's all super friendly to all of that kind of stuff.
Alright.
There's even one play area where guests themselves can control the temperature of the water.
Wow.
So if your child or if you are sensitive to cold, you can hop over there, adjust the water temperature to whatever you're good at, and then play around in there. So yeah, it's really cool. Really good idea. I feel like more of those should exist.
Yeah. I think that was what I took from that guy's channel was that a lot of the park they try they try, but
But
it's
it's just
not
not
ideal
quite
or
there.
quite there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, Tom Sawyer Island has reopened at Disneyland, and dates for Fantasmic and the Railroad reopenings have been announced. Tom Sawyer Island received a lot of TLC and looks better than ever. Fantasmic will reopen on July 17th with several all-new segments and sequences. And the Disneyland Railroad, Mark Twain Riverboat, and Sailing Ship Columbia will all reopen on July 29th.
nice.
So finally have opening dates,
Yeah.
reopening dates, and the line for the Railroad is going to be bananas.
Oh, sure.
You get
and you're gonna
you
see
go
everybody with
into Star Wars
the
land a
biggest
little bit.
zoom lens they have, trying
Yep.
to get anything and everything, and they're gonna be riding it over and over again.
Sailing Ship Columbia, I think, will have a small line compared to Mark Twain,
Which has the
because it doesn't
second
have that
deck,
second
yeah.
deck.
You could get up in the crow's nest or whatever on the sailing ship. You'd be awesome.
That'd be amazing. Well, that wraps it up for the news this week.
All right, stick around. We're gonna talk about the Legoland Discovery Center. And we're back talking about Legoland.
Some
Discovery
upbeat
Center.
music.
Yeah, I know.
Some upbeat music.
Yeah.
Just makes me want to play with Legos.
Speaking of Legos,
Yeah.
I've got some Legos for you.
You do?
So if you guys didn't listen to last week's episode, Court aced, well, mostly
Ace the first one.
Aced the first one. Struggled a little with the second one.
We both kind of took that one at the same time, though.
That is true.
It was,
So I got you a little
outdated.
prize. The
Oh, man.
golden Lego block.
The gold
with
brick. No
your
way.
name engraved in the side.
No way.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
They also give these out to everybody that comes in the door, and they were handing me like handfuls. It's a Duplo size Lego that's Legoland Discovery Center exclusive.
A little. That's sweet. Is that exclusive to
It
the
doesn't.
one you went
No,
to?
it doesn't say which one. It says just Legoland Discovery Center, Discovery Center Factory. So it doesn't say
So it's just-
Kansas City or anything.
Oh well.
But it's
That's
Duplo
cool.
size. So
That's awesome.
there you go. That's for you too.
Sweet.
Yeah. The golden brick.
That's amazing. I didn't even know they made these.
They have a whole rack of them with different color, like every color, and then they have gold and the silver one. So I was like, I'm gonna give him a gold one since he won.
The gold.
The gold.
Number one.
That's right.
It matches the ears that you received
That's right.
a couple weeks
thought of that too.
prior. So, which
And I grabbed a couple more of these, so we might do a giveaway maybe at some point with all of our other
a fun little bag of.
random theme park things we've collected over the years,
We have quite a few maps to give
Yeah.
away.
and stickers and there's random things.
So maybe stick around for some future episodes.
Check out our Instagram later.
Yeah, we might do a little bit of a giveaway if you feel so inclined to participate.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, besides these awesome little shindigs, pieces of Lego,
That's right.
how was the experience?
It was really cool. So we went to visit in Kansas City. I think it's in Missouri. It's really confusing over there in Kansas City because the state line is like literally a street down the middle of a neighborhood.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's not the most obvious. Like, it's not like when you're driving on I-70 and you're like, hey, welcome to, Utah, or welcome to Kansas.
Yeah. So it's
It's a little
more
less-
like
Like, now entering Missouri. Here. Oh,
sweet, cool.
So I'm pretty sure it's in Kansas City, Missouri. It's in the, oh gosh, it's in basically a giant mall. I can't remember the name of it now.
Okay.
It's like a whole entertainment district. Like, so right next to it is an aquarium, a sea life aquarium, which we didn't go. So you can do
Yeah.
a joint ticket with Legoland Discovery Center and the
I
aquarium
feel like you can do that over in Florida as well.
with whatever.
Yeah, like I think if you get an annual pass to Legoland, you also get
I
that.
wonder
That
if they're-
includes like the Orlando Eye and
Okay, I
Sea
think I remember
Life
we talked about that,
and
yeah.
all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
over there. So okay,
Yeah, I'm not surprised. They
So
probably
there's-
work together.
yeah, probably collaborate a little bit.
Yeah. So then there's like a big mall right there too, and they had a couple different cool restaurants, and maybe we talk about that too. But it's the one thing I will say to start off is it's a little expensive.
How much was it?
I want to say it was about $20 per person, including the adults. So the downside is you have to have kids with you, but you're also paying for the adults to come in with the kids.
So does it end up being like, so is it $20 per kid and then an additional $20 per adult?
Per adult, yeah.
Oh, so it's like
I think it might have been a little cheaper for the kids, but it was about $20 for everybody.
Okay. Well, that's not like,
it's not unreasonable,
bad.
but as we talk about it, maybe you'll see kind of why I said it's expensive.
Okay.
So you come in and they bring you kind of this like waiting area, and you're like, oh, and they get you on these elevators. And they don't get on the elevator with you. They poke the button for you, and you come up, and the doors open, and there's just Legos.
Everywhere?
Kind of everywhere, because it's a room where they give you graph paper that's specific to Lego, which is kind of cool. And they tell you to draw something out, and then they let you free on a room full of like Legos to build.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you guys are following my Instagram story or our Instagram story, there was some of that you could see, kind of some of that, like it was like the draw it and then build it room.
Yeah.
And then you move from there into the first attraction, the first ride that's there, and it's kind of a mix between Buzz Lightyear and Midway Mania, in that you're riding in a Omnimover type vehicle with laser guns. They kind of look like the pirate guns if you ever played with Lego sets as a kid. The little like kind of half curved like brown gun. It was kind of fun to play with.
That's awesome.
But you're on projection screen. There's a few practical effects that you can shoot at or whatever, but it's predominantly screens you're shooting at.
Okay.
And there's kind of a story, but it's kind of like save the princess, and that's kind of the story.
Shoot the bad guys.
Yeah.
So you're using a physical gun. It's not like the Ninjago.
No, you're using an actual physical gun, and it's not attached. It's attached to the vehicle with a cord, but it's not attached.
It's not attached like how
like
Buzz Lightyear over in World is.
Yes,
is
no,
attached.
it's very
more
much
the Disneyland one.
Any angle you want. Yeah.
Okay, so it's more like Buzz Lightyear over at Disneyland.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was kind of fun. It's a little short. It's a couple minutes, but it's like 3 or 4 scenes of screens and a couple scenes of practical effects. But the practical effects are pretty limited in their
practicality.
Yeah, and then they're like actual interactiveness or anything. You're like, oh, okay, I shot that spider. Cool. Didn't move or light up or there's nothing moving in the scene. So it's fun. The kids loved it.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they fully understood what was going on. From there, you move into kind of an open area where you can kind of choose your path, because there's a mini city, like we kind of talked about in the news.
Mini-land.
Yeah. Where they have Kansas City kind of icons or buildings built out of Lego in a really cool way.
That's pretty cool.
So they have like a little Chiefs, I don't know, Arrowhead Stadium, is that where the Chiefs play, I think?
I think it is.
So they have a little Arrowhead Stadium with a football game going on, and then wherever the Royals play in, the baseball team.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name of that either, but and Kansas City Speedway, like their NASCAR track, and that actually has cars. You just poke a button and it goes. It's
around.
Like track car or slot car.
So it's like the interactive. So it's like a true mini land. If you were to go to like Legoland California or Legoland
it's
Florida,
it's a very miniature version of that. Like yeah.
Okay, so a little bit of interactivity.
Yeah, the little buttons here or there you can push. Like there's a little rock concert going on at whatever famous outdoor venue they have, and there's like you push it and the little guys
start
dance
playing
around and there's flashing lights.
That's cool.
And they have a little scene from Wizard of Oz where like the house, you push it and the tornado lifts the house up and it kind of just goes up and twists around.
Oh, that's sweet.
And then you see like Munchkin Land, and then you see the Wizard of Oz castle.
Yeah.
Emerald City. That's what I was looking for. So that was kind of fun. I mean, the kids were less into that because they're like, okay, they poke the button once, it does its thing. And they're like, okay, cool.
Moving on.
My favorite part about that was in the Kansas City Royals scene. There was a streaker. There's like a little dude with like, flesh tone little minifig running around with his clothes like in his hand. Yeah. I was like, ha.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Okay. So then there's the mini land.
Yep.
There's the like interactive attraction.
There's a second attraction, which is like a Dumbo-esque ride.
Okay.
It's the Wizard's Apprentice, I think is what it was called.
Okay.
And there's like a kid seat, which is like pushed way forward up against the bar, and then an adult seat. So you have to...
which is way back.
Yeah, which is way back. And there's pedals, and the more you pedal, you go up or down. So if you pedal a bunch, you'll stay up, or if you kind of pedal half, you're going to sit in the middle.
You'll sit in the middle and then go down.
And it just kind of goes around in a circle. Plays some music, the lights kind of change. Nothing really special about it.
Okay.
This is all indoors, obviously, too, so it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of limited somewhat,
But I assume it looks like it's made out of Lego.
yes, like you
Okay.
can see like the back of it, and it has like what looks like the
Lego
bottom side of a
indents
Lego.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Then from there, you move into there's a 4D movie,
Okay.
and I think there's 4 different versions. What the lady said, we saw one of them, which was kind of funny. I was telling you about it earlier. That
Yeah, we were talking about it before the show.
yeah, it's the
So it's
Char-
the Lego
the
movie
heroes of the Lego
characters.
movie, which about half of them were voiced by the appropriate people and half were not, which is always kind of funny to me. And then they get an invitation to Brick World, which is a rip-off Legoland next to Legoland, and it's run by Lord Business's evil brother, Risky Risky Business. And his whole thing is he's like mind controlling the Lego citizens, and he's making them join his show that's like a rip-off of the Lego song, but it's not quite. So it's like everything is okay, or everything is...
So it's a rip-off of the song Everything is Awesome.
Yeah,
that
but it's
everybody was singing for like
something else.
a
Yeah.
year from the Lego movie. And okay, so it's like everything is decent.
So yeah, it's something like that. It was something silly. It was like, oh, that's kind of funny. But there were a lot of 4D quote-unquote effects. The wind was not very strong. Like you could hear it ramp up, and maybe it was just the seat I was in.
That's how it felt over in like Shrek 4D.
Yeah, it was like you could hear the fans rolling. I'm like, okay, but
'Cause
the
I
rain was ridiculous.
Was it?
Yeah,
Like,
like I had my camera on me, and I was like, oh, I don't,
might not
this is-
survive.
yeah,
so you were like dripping when the
Oh,
rain
yeah.
kind of ended, and
and there was like soap suds at one point. I'm trying to remember what that was for, and it was like all over our hair and our clothes, and it was like, okay, that's kind of a lot. And so again, maybe where we were sitting,
yeah.
but
You could have been right in the middle of all of it and stuff.
the kids kind of enjoyed that though. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did your kids react to that?
They kind of freaked out at first when they started getting wet, and they were like, "What is happening?" But they kind of figured out it was okay. You know, like we weren't freaking out either.
But you're wearing 3D glasses the whole time, I assume.
Yes.
Okay. So were your kids were they comfortable with 3D glasses?
That was the downside. They were very much like the Muppet Vision ones.
Oh, so like Muppet Vision or like Midway Mania ones or like
They
Captain
weren't
EO.
very comfortable for kids, which I was surprised they didn't have kid size. Because so much
Really?
of this is about kids.
Yeah.
Because you really
It's
can't
like-
you can't go if you don't have a kid.
Yeah. It's like purely about kids, I guess.
So I was really surprised. We basically had to hold them on both kids' heads, and our kids have fairly large heads too. So it's not like a 1.5-year-old and a 3.5-year-old shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't
think.
have to hold them on or have
Yeah.
to keep them
So-
steady. Okay, but it worked.
Yeah,
Your kids enjoyed it.
they did. Yeah, they had fun.
Was it entertaining as an adult though?
It was. I was because there's kind of some like inside jokes about the Lego movie that maybe an older kid that's seen the movie would have gotten, but my kids aren't gonna get that. I don't think they've even seen the movie.
Yeah.
Like the song, it's like everything is okay. It's like, wait,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, little heavy on the water effects.
yeah. And again, that might have been where I was sitting, a little less on the wind effects, which I was like, oh, that would have been kind of more fun to feel.
Although I will say, I think the only theater where wind effects have been effectively used, well, there's two: the Bugs Life Theater,
Yeah,
That one. and then the old Muppet Vision 3D Theater in
California
Adventure when they were previewing Tron.
Oh yeah, that was
Because
pretty good.
that
I
was
remember that, yeah.
all those in-theater effects on that one
Yeah.
were
They were pretty on
spectacular.
point. Yeah.
They were. It's like that movie was built for that.
Oh, totally.
So, can you rewrite any of these attractions as much as you want, or is it just
No,
kinda
it's
one
very
and done?
much the Wizard's Apprentice or whatever that one was.
Yeah.
Much more.
Okay.
The way the layout is, you literally come out of that room right off the elevators, and you're kind of forced into the queue of the laser one. And I wish I knew the name of it. But
Yeah.
the laser one. And I don't feel like it's set up for you to re-ride. Like you probably could. You could probably work your way
Talk
kind
to
of
someone
back
and-
or whatever.
and say,
but
okay.
it's not laid out. It's kind of laid out to kind of one and done, and then go on, move on.
Keep moving.
Because they kind of bring groups of people up in the elevator at a time,
Yeah.
so they kind of everybody has some moments in that first room. So it's kind of a weird layout in that way.
Okay.
But the rest is very open, and you can very much move between. Like if you want to go back to the 4D movie, you could do that again and again,
You want to get drenched?
or go through the mini city or whatever. Because then outside of the 4D movie too was. There was a couple different areas. There was like a train track set up where kids could build like a train car. on it, and it was kind of a miniature city scene, but not. I don't think it was specifically Kansas City or anything.
It was just a generic
Lego
city.
Yeah, and then there was cool where you could build cars with like Connects kind of Legos almost, or not Connects. What is it?
They're
Connects?
robotic ones.
Kind of. It was.
Because Connects is a different thing.
Yeah, what am I thinking of?
Bionicle?
Technics or whatever that one.
Yeah, okay.
So they're like the bigger wheels. They're kind of, you use rods to hold your wheels on. You got to use the little nuts on the rod to kind of hold the rod in place and all that. So it was kind of fun to build. And then they had like jumps and ramps and like
oh, that's cool.
An automatic Pinewood Derby kind of track where you could poke a button and then it counted down from 3 and then it released all the 4 cars.
Okay.
So you could build a car and test it.
Your kids are on the younger side.
Yes.
How do they feel about like doing that kind of thing? Because that seems more attractive to like
the 3.5-year-old loved the cars.
Okay.
There was also there were pools of Duplos just around
that you could just
so the 1.5-year-old was cool with that. There was also it's the girl specific sets they sell now. I think it's Lego Friends, I think is what it's called.
Something like that, yeah.
They had a whole house for that had like a karaoke machine in there, a bunch of Duplos in there, and then they had a pizza station.
Which was like a pizza guy?
It was like make your own pizza.
Out of Lego?
Out of Lego. So it was these like pizza crusts that were Lego like flats that were cut into circle and looked like crust with sauce on it. And then you went and got yellow and made cheese, and then you got white and made cheese, and then yellow was like, and then there was like red for peppers and then green for peppers or whatever, and then like there was a little oven and you could like cook, and so she was playing that too. So there was something for all the ages.
Okay.
And there were a couple play structure type things too. There's one that was definitely geared for younger kids, and there was one that was supposed to be for like 5 to 10-year-olds.
Okay.
It was like a train station or like a subway train almost kind of thing.
Okay. So what's the age limit to be considered like
I don't know. I wish I should have looked that up before we tried it. But I don't know, yeah.
It's probably younger.
I would say it's on the younger end, just based off the size of everything, because I bumped my head a few times on just like walking around. So it wasn't.
That's not fun.
Like the Lego Friends house was like, oh, got a duck.
Crawling around on this.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything else notable about it?
They have the master build classes. We didn't attend one, obviously. Our kids are a little too young for that.
A little younger.
They had a cool one where you could make like tile art with like
really?
They have the single pixel Lego.
Yeah.
And like a little square tile that was like probably I think it was 20 by 20 or something like that.
Oh, and then you just
and they had like a whole wall, so you could make like whatever you want, like a flag or whatever. So that was kind of fun for like adults.
Yeah.
So there's some cool stuff for adults, and apparently they do like adult only nights at times. And I could see like if you're really into Lego, it'd be really fun to go.
You could see the attraction to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, dang, that sounds like a really, really fun, really cool, very unique experience.
Yeah, I would say so. Go back to the whole thing with the price and everything. I would say the downside is one, making adults pay the full price for it seemed a little silly when how little there is for the adults to actually do.
How little there is for the adults to take advantage of.
Yes.
Okay.
And then two, I would say there's not that much. It's kind of a bigger Lego store, like say the one in downtown Disney or Disney Springs.
Yeah.
I would say has as much.
Kind of like Lego's
sculptures and that kind of so
it's a Lego store on steroids.
Yes, I would say that's a perfect
with some attractions.
Because I was actually going to say to the gift shop.
Yeah,
I was a little disappointed by because they had nothing that said, as far as I saw, and I wasn't like totally paying, but I was kind of looking around for stuff, and I didn't see anything that was like Kansas City or because even like Orlando, when you go into the
Orlando or Disneyland,
you can get like a mug that even says your name on it, says Orlando or it says California or whatever. So
okay, that's a little disappointing.
I know, I was a little disappointed with it. It was more of just a true Lego store.
Yeah,
so I was like, that's kind of weird.
So upside, kids really loved it.
Kids really loved it. It definitely makes me want to go to Legoland. That is the other, it's Legoland Discovery Center. It made me discover that I want to go to Legoland. Like that was.
Well,
that was where I was at.
It probably did its job then.
Yeah, because it was like, okay, I could see doing like a, sometime on a California trip or whatever, adding a day to go to
Legoland,
California, or maybe adding a trip on to, probably not Orlando, but maybe, but sometime,
half
not
day,
this time, but
half day or something. If your kids are wanting to go,
or wherever else there might
or
be
in San
one
Antonio,
eventually.
I think there's
San Antonio,
one.
and then if I'm sure they're going to add more.
They're expanding a lot.
Yeah, kind of like Sesame Street.
Yeah,
Or
they're jumping in on that too.
Yeah.
Okay, so upside, kids really loved it. Really
Kids
makes you want
loved
to go
it.
to.
Makes you really want to go to Legoland. It was enjoyable for what it was.
How long did you spend there?
I think we spent no more than about 2 hours.
Oh, okay. So
Because we got in there at 10 when it opened, and we left and had lunch at noon.
Okay, so 2 hours.
2 hours.
$10 an hour.
$10 an hour.
Could you have spent more time in there? Do you feel like you could have spent more time in there? I mean, with the master builders class, if you wanted to make your kids suffer.
Yeah, if he was a
Sit
little
through that.
older, or if they were a little older, maybe.
Okay.
He could have played cars for a long time,
Yeah.
but he was also just starting to get like kind of the destructive, like, let me see what happens if I do this or this.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and I think the 1.5-year-old was a little bored, and I think the adults were like, okay, yeah, we've seen it.
So if your kids were a little older, probably
A little
like
older, yeah.
first or second grade,
Yeah, and they could maybe
And
attend
then-
a master builder class.
yeah, and be intrigued by it at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
so-
they're maybe doing a little more experimentation with the cars, because I basically had to build his car.
Yeah, and then he just.
And it wasn't like he was like, oh, maybe I can add this or do this. Like, that would be interesting to see, too.
Okay. So, kids were a little older.
Yeah.
You could see yourself spending 3-4 hours there.
Yeah, and that might make it a little more worth the price. Because,
Yeah.
again, it's the $10 an hour, but it's also that 3 adults went with. So it was another,
Yeah.
you tack on that cost. And it's like,
Yeah. So, okay. So downside, little too expensive.
I would
for
say it's a little
you.
too expensive for me. I
Okay.
could see if you had older kids, maybe it'd be way worth more. Or if your kid was so into Lego that, like, this was...
Like a full day thing, or
Yeah, and you're holding off the Legoland trip for a little bit or something, and like this is kind of your
just a little preview of it.
preview
or
of it.
like-
Yeah,
Okay. So, sounds like it was a pretty cool experience.
it is. It's really cool. I really did enjoy it. The only thing I would say was it was just the cost was like, I wish it was a little cheaper.
Maybe have the kids be that price and the adults like.
Yeah, because
15
again,
or something.
there's very little adults are doing. Because I'm also watching my children, so it's not like I could play cars all day too, but
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm also trying to make sure my child's not getting kidnapped or
Yeah.
destroying
just having
things.
fun and
Yeah.
not getting in fights with other kids.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, is there anything else you have to add about the Legoland Discovery Center?
I don't think so.
In Kansas
I'm
City.
sure I'll think of something later, but
Yeah. All right. Well,
always do. Thank you for listening to the Unmistakably Magic Podcast. Check out our social media at Unmistakably Mag on Twitter, which has been much more active, I've noticed.
it has been substantially more active.
Yes. Unmistakably Magic on Instagram. Facebook.com/Unmistakably Magic.
And if you like what we're doing, like what we're saying, and you want to support the show a little bit, head over to unmistakablymagic.spreadshirt.com and purchase a shirt, hoodie, tank top,
Yeah.
a mug,
Whatever fits your
foot
fancy.
mugs, whatever you want. Yeah. Got them in men's, women's sizes, all of the above. Help us out.
Email us questions, comments, or shout-outs. Unmistakablymagic@gmail.com.
Yeah, if you have a birthday coming up or someone
Yeah.
you know who listens to the show has a birthday coming up,
True.
let us know and we'll shout out to them. And or if you have any questions, if you're planning a trip to like Disney or Universal or now
Legoland
Discovery Center somewhere, as oddly specific as that is, let us know. Email us, and we'll give you some tips if you want to know where we get our music from.
Anything you want to know.
Where we get these killer shirts from if you're watching the video version.
Amazon.
I forget.
Don't email us that question.
I know it was cheap though. I think it was Tilly's. Yeah, it was Tilly's.
Tilly's.
Where I got this one. It's on sale.
No. H&M has a bunch of Disney stuff too.
Yeah, H&M just they stock up on that.
Yeah.
I didn't know Tilly's had anything like that.
Oh,
We were just
yeah.
walking in 'cause my little brother wanted to go in for something, and I'm like, oh,
Disney stuff.
there's a Mickey Mouse shirt for $7, and it fits.
If you're not subscribed to us, head on over to YouTube and subscribe to us there. Just search Unmistakably Magic.
That'd really help us out. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Want to get that YouTube.com/
Yep.
URL.
Leave us a review over on iTunes if you would, and share the show with your friends on either YouTube or iTunes.
Or both. Why not?
A big thank you to our friend Dylan over at Blast Off Branding for making our awesome logo. And check out our friends at the Unmistakably Star Wars podcast.
They on their Twitter, they've been going through their Rebels reaction series again.
Have they?
For the summer, because the final season's coming up here pretty soon.
Oh, nice.
And they're hyping that up a little bit.
Okay.
So, well, I think that just about does it.
All right. Have a magical week.
See you real soon.
And welcome to the after show.
How are you? Exclusively on YouTube, but you know that because you're watching it. I think this is really cool. It's obviously
$2.75.
It's obviously custom.
It costs $2.75 extra to get that.
Oh, really?
Because you buy the keychain for like whatever it is, and then you have to. And they're like, "Do you want to engrave it?" I was like, "How much is it?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, go ahead."
Yeah, that's sweet.
I didn't know if they could do it to all Legos, because it'd be kind of cool if you could just pick any like within a set or something, or whatever. Just bring in a Lego, but I don't. It seemed like it was just the keychains.
Oh, okay.
Because I almost bought you a minifig. Because they have the golden minifig too, keychain, and I was like, I'll get the brick.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, because this has to be custom because
it was. Yeah, it was a machine.
Nobody names their child Court.
And not the way you spelled it either.
No.
She was like C-O-R-T, and I was like, yes, C-O-R-T.
Yeah.
Yes.
You should have done Q-U-A-R-T.
No, it was just like Court. It was just like a machine. It was like, and she's like, here you go. I'm like, oh, thanks.
Oh, so it's like the Star Wars name tags that they're doing over in
it's just
Disneyland
a little
and Hollywood
engraver or
Studios.
whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
It took like 2 minutes, or not even like a minute when she actually got it, because she had like 8 orders. And she's like, step over here and I'll get it engraved. I'm like, okay.
Oh, sweet.
Before we went to lunch at Fritz's.
Yeah, the train thing.
So we didn't talk about this because it wasn't really relevant to Legoland, but we ate at a place that your food is delivered by train.
Like there's a train up above.
Yes, there's a train track, and then each train is kind of carrying this basket underneath it.
Yeah. And
then as it comes by, if it's your order, this little mechanical arm drops down and causes the basket to fall off onto this little tray that's sitting above your table, and then that thing comes like down to your table, and then you grab your tray, and then
and your kids,
they
loved it.
They
were going.
It was a restaurant full of kids.
It.
Yeah.
So super family friendly.
Oh yeah. Well, and then the other thing was in that same mall, because it was all in that same area.
Yeah.
Crown Center is what it's called.
Oh.
Now that I remember.
Would have been useful in the main show.
Yeah, whatever. They also have like a Crayola cafe.
Okay.
So like, same thing. It's very kid
oriented,
centric and friendly. So.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, in the after show, we have a segment that we like to call Wade's Word. Wade's Word. And that segment is where our friend Wade shoots us over a little text, occasionally an email.
It's long-winded, yes.
Yes, if it's very long-winded, it's an email.
Although we're on iPhone, so iMessage can be about as long as you want.
Yeah, it can be. Of what his thoughts are on the prior week's show, or, in the theme park industry as a whole. He's a huge fan of Disney, so it mostly pertains to Disney stuff.
Yeah.
Like this week's one, which is he sent us a message asking us if we saw the update that's starting Wednesday. Fast passes will be tied to your park ticket / annual pass over at Disneyland. And you replied, My Magic Plus coming into the West Coast. Slowly.
Yeah, ...
Yes.
Slowly.
Very slowly.
I think we said this when, what's the...
Max Pass.
Max Pass came out. I was like, this is just
when it was announced.
We're just moving our way to My Magic Plus on the West Coast.
It hasn't rolled out yet.
They're just trying to implement the whole thing.
Yeah. And when they on my last visit over there in January, was it? Yeah, it had to be January. In January, when we got evac, well, we weren't on Big Thunder Mountain, but we were far enough in the line past the little like fast pass acceptance spot where they're like, "Okay, anybody here beyond, we're giving you a fast pass, and we're giving you a re-ad, a re-ride." And normally when they do that, they give you a ticket, and it's like, "Hey, how many are in your party?" And so it's basically just a separate little fast pass ticket. And then they write the number of people in your party, and then they write the attraction that you got it from. And it's good for any attraction in either park.
Yeah.
So I was expecting that.
Yeah, because you told your friends not to, like...
Yeah, because I told
my
friends...
one,
like,
because it's good for, like, 1 + 4 or whatever,
yeah, just say, like, "Oh, it was just me." But the ticket that they give you is good for up to 6 people. So if we had... And there were, like, 4 of us.
So if everybody did that...
So if everybody did that, we
yeah.
would have had 20... 18 fast passes
or 4
yeah.
fast passes to
with
all
whatever.
for all
yeah.
of you guys.
Yeah. So or we could have used it for 24 people.
Yeah.
However, they did not do that. They actually asked for our physical ticket, and then they said, "Okay, how many people are in your party?" And I'm like, "Dang it, 1," because it was just me. Because all of us had split up by that point.
Yeah.
And, they were counting. Okay, all 6 people in that party. Or who were with this guy, keep going.
Yeah.
What they did was they just scanned your ticket, and then you had a fast pass on there.
Okay.
So, which we ended up using later on in the night at
How did you
like
redeem
California
it?
Screaming. So you walk up, you say, it was a little awkward because normally when you get like the physical one,
You walk up.
what we did is we'd walk up because I had that on a prior trip. Somebody gave it to me as we were walking out of California Adventure, and we were heading over to Disneyland for the last like hour that it was open.
Yeah.
And someone handed it to me, and I'm like, "Oh, sweet. Let's go ride Peter Pan," because I do not want to wait freaking an hour for that ride, and then, you know. So what we did with that was we walked up, and if it doesn't have a fast pass line, you walk up to the exit, and the cast member standing at the exit, you say, "Hey, I have this re-ad, or I have this fast pass that's good for this ride. Me and my friends would like to ride." And when it was a physical ticket, they just say, "Okay." So then they'd look at the ticket, double check it with their little notepad of if it's legit or not, and then when they confirm that it's legit, they take your ticket and say, "Okay, I'm gonna have to ask you to just step out to the side for a little bit, and I'll get you on ASAP."
Nice.
And we waited like 5 minutes to get on Peter Pan.
But we don't have the physical thing on that.
So that was the physical one. So when we just had our park tickets, we walked up and we used it on California Screaming, which might or may not have been the best choice for it. But we were trying to ride as much as possible. So we walked up to the Fast Pass line, and when the guy asked, the initial guy who was checking Fast Pass tickets.
Yeah, for the time, yeah.
When he asked for him, we're like, we were in line for Big Thunder Mountain, and it broke down, and they gave us Fast Passes on our physical tickets. And he's like, "Okay." So then he's like, can you guys take out your tickets, your park tickets? So we all took those out, and then he brought out a similar little scanner, and he just hit the barcode on it and said, "All right, you're good. Tell the next guy that you had a re-ad." So that's how it worked out. And then when the next guy came over to like collect the fast passes,
we had a re-ad,
we're like, "We had a re-ad." And he's like, "Okay, here you go."
Interesting.
So
it seems like they're definitely moving that way.
Oh yeah, more digital stuff,
Yeah.
and so
I mean, I think My Magic Plus has figured some stuff out.
especially over at Disney World.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's gonna be the same. It's not gonna be like you
It
can
can't be
reserve
because of the
fast
way-
passes 30 days in advance.
It
or
can't be
60
because
days.
of the way that the people visit Disneyland.
No.
Because
This
otherwise
whole-
you'll have no fast passes available ever. Because
No.
how do you control
Yeah.
access to that or whatever? You
Which
know,
I do also want to know. Is it just gonna? Are they just gonna convert all the paper fast pass machines into just little scanners,
Kiosks
where it'll
or
just
scanners.
be a little scanner underneath, and you just put your or your ticket underneath,
yeah.
and it'll just do a little beep, and
Yeah.
then there you go. And you have no physical confirmation of, maybe they'll print out a FastPass ticket of like,
I don't know.
your FastPass was successful or something.
Or
Because they
screen,
just added FastPasses over to the Matterhorn. Like
they?
those are
Yeah.
those are live now.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know.
curious to see how it works out. I'll ask my
It's
buddy.
definitely going to be like, I think kind of like my Magic Plus when it rolled out. There was some growing pains, some learning curves. It's going to be the same because Disneyland is just, it's so different too. I mean, that's part of it too.
Yeah. It won't be. I hope it won't be quite the disaster that Tapu Tapu was.
No,
'Cause
I
that
can't
was
imagine
not
Disney.
good.
No, Disney's.
They're doing it slower and not all at once and a little more effectively.
Yeah,
I think.
I just say in general, Disney's a little more careful, a little more strategic at times.
Yeah, with the guest experience. Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to see how it'll work out. Curious to see if it'll work out.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how the locals react, because those are the people you got to please over there.
Yeah,
And
pass holders, man.
they don't like change.
No.
Although they are in love with Mission Breakout right now.
I've heard that. Yeah. Which is
They
good.
are head over heels with
I think
it.
we definitely need to revisit that issue, which has
We
most
should.
proven which one has done it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I
Definitely
think
once one of us, probably once one of us has done
Has
at least some
experienced
of
some of
it. We haven't done. Neither
all
one
of
of us
it.
will do
Well,
Volcano Bay this year, but
not this year. Next year. Next year I will.
maybe we can revisit it then.
Triple revisit it. But yeah, I mean, I'll ask some of my friends over in California about how the non-physical fast passes are working out.
Yeah.
How people are reacting, and because at this point, fast pass is ingrained in people's heads to be
Yes.
one way.
Yes, I know.
And as soon as My Magic Plus rolled out, people were freaking out because they're like, well, how do I get a fast pass? What's going on with this? Where do I get fast passes at? Where are my fast passes? They're on my wrist? What are you talking about?
The files are in the computer.
No.
Have you ever seen?
Yeah, I
Do
know.
that.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh. The files are in the computer.
They're in the computer. Gosh.
My fast passes are in my Magic Band.
People just
Smashing it, going, where are they?
Where are my fast passes? I do kind of hate to see paper fast passes go, because at a minimum, they're free souvenirs or included souvenirs.
That is true. I still have some, but
I have some fast passes.
it's also you also got to think about the waste of paper that actually is.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
well they recycle it, they reuse
I know,
them
but
and
it's
all
still-
that stuff. But still, you don't get 100% return on that. No.
And if everybody keeps them as a free souvenir,
Which I actually have a fast pass from Shanghai Disneyland and Hong Kong Disneyland. I have the Iron Man Experience fast pass from Hong
the
Kong.
collection is almost complete.
It's getting there. I just need Tokyo and Paris.
Well, you can get Paris in 10 days.
Actually, I don't think I have any from Disney World.
You
Now that
can
I
have
think
one
of
of
it.
mine.
Okay, cool.
I think I have some.
I don't-
I still have a Maelstrom, so
Oh, those are. Hold
Not
on to
only-
that for a little bit.
not only an extinct attraction, but
yeah.
an extinct method of entry.
Yes, that is incredible.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, we'll bring you the latest on Fast Pass stuff, and
Yeah,
I'm
it's all
always-
rumor and conjecture at this point, but I think, like I said, My Magic Plus coming to the West Coast
slowly in a different form.
in a different form,
It'll
just based
happen.
off of the difference between Disneyland and Disney World. So,
Yeah. All right. Well, have a good one. See you
See
next
ya.
time.